But Colin Kaepernick, man, I definitely think Colin Kaepernick deserves a chance with the Seattle Seahawks. Let's get it, man. Hey, you're now tuned in to the Views of Voices podcast. I'm your host, Dewan Thompson, and we have a reoccurring guest, my brother, Jackie Bo, man. Go ahead and introduce yourself again.
Hey, DJ, thanks for having me back, bro. Love being on the show. Love talking about anything with you, man. Just happy to
Hell
be
yeah.
here.
Man,
Happy to be here.
I'm glad you're on the show because, you always keep it 100 and it's always animated. So I love it,
Yep.
And so let's get into it, man. We're going to be talking about the Seahawks, what they did in the offseason, and what can they do to help themselves in this draft, right? So let's talk about Russell Wilson, and I kind of want to get your thoughts on the trade on Russell Wilson this offseason.
Oh, brother.
Was it a good idea?
Well, I believe the last time we talked about him, you brought this question up, and I shut it down quicker than I think I've shut anything down in my life.
Mm-hmm.
I called you crazy. We've heard these rumors for 2 years now. Nothing's come of it. You don't trade away a franchise quarterback and then boom, like that, like Thanos snap, he's just gone.
Yes.
I couldn't believe my ears. I mean, you don't trade away a Hall of Fame caliber quarterback. I am extremely against this move. We traded away the most important position on the field and our best player. The guy who, quite frankly, I think without him, they're an absolute train wreck. They have very few redeeming qualities last season for sure, aside from Russell Wilson even playing injured. And obviously he had a bit of a down season, but hey, we were at that game when he dislocated his finger on Aaron Donald's helmet. We were there.
Yep, we were there.
We got to watch everything that unfolded after that, and the season did not go the way that they wanted it to. As far as the move goes, definitely against it. The way the team drafts, I don't like getting picks back. I did not particularly love the Hall of Players. Mm-hmm. I think that we got a little under what he's worth, and yeah.
And so wasn't it was 2 first-round picks, Noah Fant, Drew Lock, and another player, right?
2 first-round picks. I think we got 3 third-round picks, and then 3 players. The players were Noah Fant, Drew Lock, and Shelby Harris.
Oh, there we go, Shelby Harris, yes.
And breaking down the players that we got back in the deal, Noah Fant, I mean, I really can't complain about him. Dude's never had a fair shake. Talented, little bit injury prone, definitely physically gifted. Can't really complain much about that one. That's a player that I would have wanted in return. Then you get to Shelby Harris. Shelby Harris is a quality interior D lineman. Is he going to make the Pro Bowl? No. But is he going to be one of the more underrated guys on the team's D line? Absolutely. And then you get to just the absolute dagger to the heart. You're replacing Russell Wilson potentially with Drew Lock. I mean, I would put the water boy on the field before I put Drew Lock on the field. Watch him sing Young Jeezy on the sidelines and all that goofy shit he be doing. That's the real kicker for me. I wouldn't have even wanted a quarterback in return. I would have wanted a Pro Bowl caliber player. I would have wanted a corner. I would have let them give us 1 first-round pick and say, screw you, give me Patrick Surtain, no deal.
Wow.
And have them help us immediately at a position of need. Okay. And we didn't really get help at any positions of need, but we got the draft capital to potentially do that, I guess.
I definitely think because I think the Rams gave up 3 first-round picks, right, to get Matthew Stafford?
They did, and we only got 2, but we also got the Hall of Seconds and like a third, and players. We got a bigger haul, but the first-round capital that Detroit got was awesome for them.
So would you much rather have that 3 first-round picks than what you guys got?
Oh, well, that's a bit of an objective question. Me, personally, I don't want anyone to give the Seahawks draft picks because they don't know how to use them. But I guess I would say I would rather get the 3 first-round picks. I'd rather get a chance at higher quality players.
Yes, exactly.
Versus second round, which obviously, there's plenty of good guys in the second round. Obviously, they struck gold on DK, made an obvious choice. Normally not their forte, but that one sure did work. So,
I mean, the Seahawks are known for, going deep into the draft and getting Pro Bowl caliber guys. So, I mean, it's not that bad, you know.
We were known for it in two
And two
drafts under
drafts,
Carroll
yeah.
and Schneider. Yeah, after third round and later after Russ and Sherm and Cam, even Byron Maxwell for a couple of years. After like those drafts, we really stopped hitting in those later rounds entirely. So getting those haul of draft picks really didn't matter that much anymore. And they did try to get those later round draft picks. They were always about trading back, but it doesn't
Okay.
matter if you don't know how to use it. So I would keep the earlier ones, spend them on higher name players versus trading back and thinking that you're smarter than everyone else.
Okay. Okay. And so basically, I'm gonna bring this to your attention.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a rebuilding phase, right? I think they want to establish what they established when they got to the Super Bowl. They want to have a great running game, a great defense, and just have a quarterback that's able to do the job without needing to please his ability to throw the ball. So I think that's why they felt like, okay, we need to trade Russell, not have this drama. Let's get back to what we know. You know, run the football, play great defense, and that's about it. Do you think that's what they're getting to now?
I 100% agree with you that it's a rebuild. The thing that makes me mad is the fact that they won't call it a rebuild. They're
Okay.
saying it's a retool. Like, we're not rebuilding. We're not going to tank. We're not going to build through the draft. We're just like, we're ready to get right back in it. They talk like they're about to make the playoffs next year, win the NFC West, all this stuff. And a rebuild is very clear.
Yeah.
You know you're not going to win a lot of games. You know you don't have a lot of talent on your team. You're trying to redevelop it. They refuse to say that, but you're right. It is a rebuild. You're right. They do want to get back to the old Pete Carroll game plan. And obviously, you said defense. Defense will take you, all the way. So obviously, I have no problem with that. But when it comes to getting back into the run game, that's where I have a problem. Because the NFL has changed since we went to back-to-back Super Bowls. Quite frankly, the run game was a much more powerful force on the football field, in my opinion, in
Mm-hmm.
those years than it is now. It is a passing league. You need to be able to throw the ball. I mean, I want to see Michael Lee J. offense, man. Those high scoring, you
Yeah.
want good protection. Yeah, you got to run the ball too. Obviously, I'm not going to say running backs and that the run game is nothing. You do
Mm-hmm.
need it. You do need it to set up play action. You do need it to set up going deep. You do need it to get down the field, all that. But it's not important anymore, and that's why running backs aren't getting paid. You know, they're just not, because the running game isn't very valuable to NFL teams nowadays. You look at the teams that went to the Super Bowl. You look at the Rams. How do the Rams get there? Matthew Stafford and Cooper Kupp.
Mm-hmm.
Also, a great defense.
Great
In my
defense,
opinion,
yes.
the best in the league. Best in the league,
Yeah.
hands down. The talent on that defense was amazing. And then, Stafford and Kupp. And then you look at the Bengals. Pretty much same thing. They got there because their defense was very good. Very good. They deserved to be there. And what else? Joe Burrow and Jamar
Jamar
Chase
Chase,
and T.
T.
Higgins.
Higgins.
Those are the
Yeah.
guys we're talking about. We're not, help me out here. Joe
Tyler
Mixon.
Boyd.
No,
Oh,
well,
Joe
no, no, no.
Mixon.
And Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon is a quality running back.
Yes,
He
he is.
is one of the. I put him in my top 10 for sure. But he got hurt a couple times. You know what? They still kept winning. Joe Burrow
Mm-hmm.
gets hurt. Jamar Chase gets hurt. The game is way different.
It's different.
So I,
It's
I,
different.
I would say I like the game plan more under Russ, but the problem was we kind of allocated our money a little bit sketchily. Not a word,
Yeah.
but you know what I mean.
Sketchily.
Yeah, yeah. And again, the Seahawks haven't had a good O-line since those Super Bowl years, and they weren't very good at pass blocking, but they would just maul you downfield, and we
Yeah.
still can't do that. So,
I
but
think
yeah,
there's
I
a
would.
few. Yeah, I think there's a few teams in the league that still value that running game extremely high, and
Yep.
it's successful, right? And I think it's the 49ers. I definitely think it's the Titans, and the Indianapolis Colts. Like those three teams, I think they are highly successful when it comes to running the ball and actually being a great team. Now, Indianapolis, they just had a shitty of a quarterback in Carson Wentz who doesn't know how to
100%.
doesn't know how to play at the end of the games. But they were a playoff team, man. Them
Yeah.
49ers NFC Championship and the Titans are always great. I think what hurt the Titans this year was Derrick Henry getting hurt. And so
Mm-hmm.
that kind of messed things up. But I definitely think having a running game is important because you got the Kansas City Chiefs, right? Which I think
Mm-hmm.
they're trying to get back into trying to establish a run game. They were kind of being predictable and just running RPOs, but the RPO is more of a pass option,
Yeah.
like never
Yeah.
a running option. So I
Yeah.
think I think you need to have a running game, and I think the Seahawks know that. And my question is, if you knew you're going to trade Russell and you had these trade discussions even a year ago,
Mm-hmm.
why trade for Jamal Adams and give up 2 first round picks? So give me your opinion on that, because I think that's kind of
Yeah.
stupid and giving up your future for a safety.
You're right, and I don't think that they thought that this is how this was going to go. I genuinely think that this was a spur of the moment hit the panic button decision,
Mm,
where they probably heard through the league what Aaron Rodgers was about to get paid. They probably heard that through the grapevine. I'm sure a
okay.
lot of teams did. We were probably the last people to know. All the other GMs, owners, coaches, they were probably in on that, and that contract is ludicrous. And don't get me wrong, I wouldn't give that to Russell Wilson. I would not. I would not give that contract to him. So they
Yeah.
probably heard that, and then that's where you think, you know what? Let's cut our losses. I genuinely think that they planned on bringing him back until that deal happened. And this offseason has been wilder than any offseason I have seen when it comes to players getting paid, because they are getting paid. And quite frankly, I think the NFL is going to be in a lot of trouble with this
Yeah.
happening with the salary cap. A lot of teams are going to be in trouble. But I think it was a spur of the moment decision, and they got Jamal Adams thinking that he was going to come in and be the guy he was in New York.
Hmm.
Unfortunately for him, he battled injuries. Worst luck ever. Even injured though, he is a game changer, and he is a playmaker. He got
He
better
is.
in coverage last season. He showed improvement. We didn't use him the same way though. We didn't use him as that tenacious blitzer that he was 2 seasons
Yes.
ago. He got better in
Yes.
coverage. We use him less in the pass rush, and I think under Hurt, our new defensive coordinator, we will get back to blitzing him, which will be good. It needs to be a little more balanced. Season 1, a little too much blitzing. Season 2, not enough. So you got to find that
Yeah.
happy medium. You got to draw up good schemes. You got to bring original pressure with the front four. And I think Jamal, I think he's still maybe we gave a little too much, but I still think he's worth being on the Seahawks. I think he's a game-changing player, and he'll be a Pro Bowler, could potentially be an All-Pro if he doesn't get hurt, things like that. There's no reason why he can't return to his glory days, in my
Of
opinion.
course. Of course. And he's still young too. So I
Yeah,
definitely think them giving him that contract is was definitely worth it. And I think the Seahawks, they're going to be fine. Uh, but their defense definitely does need to get a little bit better. And that's my opinion on that part.
yep, yep, definitely.
So you trade your best player in Russell Wilson. You trade him for picks and picks that allow you guys to get back in the first round. So do you think the Seahawks are going for a quarterback in this year's draft, or do you think they're going to take the best player on the board?
I believe they will take a quarterback. I hope it's
Oh,
not in the first round.
okay.
First round, obviously, you look at the team needs. Obviously, we stay with quarterback. And then after quarterback, you get O line, defensive end, and cornerback. Those are the 4 positions they need. If they draft anything else, they failed the first round. And,
Hmm.
a guy like, you say best player available, say Kyle Hamilton's on the board. Don't get me wrong. He is one of the best players in
Yes,
this
he
draft
is.
class. But if,
Yes.
if they draft him after re-signing Quandre Diggs, Pro Bowler, and Jamal Adams, Pro Bowler, that's
That's
a
true.
fail. You don't just
Hmm.
take him because he's good. You can't do luxury picks. We saw it with Rashad Penny. That pick was essentially wasted. His good years came in the final year of his rookie deal,
Yeah, they
and
are.
and it was only
Yeah,
for like
a few
four
games.
games. Yeah,
Hmm.
and we saw enough to bring him back. But in the first round, if you got to use it on, in my opinion, defensive end, cornerback, or offensive line. And there's a number of good guys they can take. But
Hmm.
there are also some ones they could probably stay away from. I think realistically, Derek Stingley Jr. from LSU, that
Oh yeah,
is who I
Stingley.
would take. I believe he'll be on the board. If everything goes right, though, we get Sauce Gardner.
Mm.
Uh, if something crazy happens, hey, maybe Thibodeau slides back because people don't like that dude's attitude. And we've been known to take on projects. I'd be
Hmm.
fine with that too. Evan Neal, Alabama. There are guys that should be around. At that point, hopefully. Uh, uh, the tackle from
Oh
NC
yeah.
State.
How you talking about? Mm-hmm.
Charles Cross, Mississippi State. Plenty of guys. They got to stay away. They got to stay away from. They got to stay away from these small school guys that sneak up there. You say, "Oh, look at that! He's got raw talent." But has he ever played in the SEC? Has he ever played in the Big Ten? I don't like that. And the next thing you know, you're asking him to block Aaron Donald. You're asking him to block. I guess Chandler Jones is gone. Thank God.
Yeah.
you know,
True.
But you're asking him to block some of the. Nick
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 Bosa.
Bosa. Yeah, you're asking him to block
Mm-hmm.
Nick Bosa. I would hedge my bets on someone from the SEC, quite frankly.
Yep. SEC, Big Ten. Mm-hmm.
In my opinion. But I would stay away from quarterback in the first round. Everyone around the league has been saying there's no one for certain. I think that some of these guys will turn out to be good, maybe even great, but I don't know which one, but I can tell you which one I think won't, and that is Malik Willis from Liberty.
Really?
Yep. I'd take Tiny Hand Kenny Pickett over him. I'd take Desmond Ritter, and I'd take Matt Corral. Actually, you know what? I'll say one thing. I'll give Malik a little credit. I take him over Sam Howell. I think Sam Howell is outrageously overrated. And the second coming of Mitch Trubisky mixed with Baker Mayfield, if they had a baby, like he even looks like Baker, dude. I just stay away from that man.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you've never liked the small school picks, anyways. Even last year when it came to Trey Lance, I know me and you were having back and forth discussions on this. I think Trey Lance is going to be great.
Hey, we're gonna get a great season to really go back over that one. He's finally gonna get the chance to hopefully for the 49ers, he'll shine. Mm-hmm. But I mean, from what I saw last year, even in the small sample size, he don't got it. Even in the small sample size, he played against
got it, man.
He played against the Seahawks defense and got trashed.
I mean, he's only played, I think it was like 12 games in college. And he just needs time to play. He just needs time to play, man. He's talented.
You're not wrong. The more time you play, the better you get, the more you can look at him, the more you can evaluate. But in what I saw, even against the lowly Seahawks defense, he couldn't do anything with Deebo Samuel and that good running game, which they do have.
Mm-hmm.
We managed to sweep him. And he did only play one game against us, though. So he played, 3 games? So, we'll see. But the quarterback class overall, there's not a Trevor Lawrence. There's not a Joe Burrow. There's not a clear-cut guy that's going to be a star, who's a star in college, Heisman guy. That'll come next season. But I do believe that the Hawks might get desperate enough and take whoever falls out of the first round and the second round. It could be Ritter. I know they've talked to him. Could be Corral. I know they talked to him. And I've been hearing about Sam Howell, so
you know what's crazy? I heard today, I was watching, I think it was NFL Live, and I heard Desmond Ritter as a probably sneak back into the late first round pick. So I can see that. Yeah, he is.
He reminds me a little bit of Justin Fields, a little bit. I think I have similar skill sets. I want a quarterback with those skill sets in my offense, in my opinion. Smart, do check downs, run the ball. I mean, Fields had a rough season, but I think he can improve too.
I think Ritter, he's played a lot of college ball, so I think he's definitely ready to come in because he's probably better than Drew Lock. So I'm gonna take my bet on that.
I agree. I think any quarterback that we could draft in the first 2 rounds would be better than Drew Lock.
Hey, so what's the biggest need at the position for you guys? Who do you guys draft?
Again, it's best player on the board at one of those 3 positions: D-end, cornerback, and offensive line. I mean, realistically, teams need offensive lines to win. Teams with bad offensive lines don't win. You might get close because you have a talented quarterback like the Seahawks. We never had anyone worth anything except for Dwayne Brown, and we could see age was getting to him a little bit. But he was still pretty solid. But, I mean, 1 guy out of 5. You need more than 1 out of 5 in order to be successful. So I would not be surprised. I think they'd really go with a guy like Charles Cross from Mississippi State. I think it's realistic that he's there, and I think he'd be a good fit in the offense. He's a bully. He's big, strong, pretty athletic, But they could also maybe, take that into the second round too for a big boy like Daniel, the tackle from Minnesota.
Okay.
Big guy, huge,
Mm-hmm.
absolute mauler, like the Seahawks had when they went to the Super Bowl with that run offense. A guy like him would be running guys over. Questions about his athleticism, sure, because of his size, but you get in an NFL weight room, you get on a regimen. These guys are professionals coaching you up. Things
Really
happen.
are. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think realistically, Charles Cross would probably be the guy.
Okay. Okay. And so I know we discussed a little bit about Drew Lock and how much of a fan you are of him. But
Yeah.
since you don't like Drew Lock, right? Let's talk about who you can get that's not in the draft and who you could pick up. And it's a name we all know. You may or may not like what I'm going to say, and I think you guys should give this person a try. And he hasn't played in a little while, but Colin Kaepernick, man, I definitely think Colin Kaepernick deserves a chance with the Seattle Seahawks. So what's your thought on that?
Well, the thing is, we just don't. You're right. Hasn't played in a couple seasons. Quite frankly, we don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I know you were talking to me earlier about Ocho Cinco saying he could still throw the ball. First off, throwing the
Yes.
ball ain't never been his strong suit. Never. Not even one. Not even when he was one of the most talented quarterbacks in the NFL. No, that boy was on his feet and he was burning defenses with his legs. I'm not
Oh
taking
wow.
Colin Kaepernick at quarterback. First off, he hasn't played in so long. If what I would buy, if they could pull this off and I could see this, I would either consider or strongly consider bringing him in. You get Colin Kaepernick
Yes.
to get on the phone, call up his NFL buddies, put together a real scrimmage. These guys love him, care about him like they say they do. Put together a scrimmage, play the game. I want to see him at quarterback versus an NFL defense. I just anything. I can't watch him do, throwing at Michigan. Because guess what?
Mm-hmm.
All these rookies are throwing too. Guys that I don't like Sam Howell, are throwing. You know what? A lot of these guys look great. Everyone looks great when they're throwing on their pro day. Everybody. Any of the top guys at least. They look impressive.
Yeah.
It's not enough for me to say I'm going to trade a quarterback that I know is going to lose, like Drew Lock, and then sign another guy who, quite frankly, I think is going to lose, Colin Kaepernick. I don't know what team. There's plenty of teams that could use a quarterback. It's just about placing a bet. My bet would be I don't think I buy him. It's a shame that he was essentially kicked out of the NFL. It's a shame that they took that away from him and
Yeah.
put him in this position. But now that he's in this position, it's still a business, and you got to make business decisions. We traded for a risk in Drew Lock because they believe he could be good. They believe he could be that guy that at the beginning of his rookie season was looking impressive. They believe he could be that guy. So they have faith in him to an extent. And but also he's proven he's not really an NFL starting caliber quarterback. I think they're
Yeah.
going to ride it out. I think they'll probably ride it out with him. And if they draft a quarterback, either he will start later in the year or won't start till next year. We'll ride it out with Drew Lock. We'll give him a fair shake. And when it fails, we can hopefully be in a position to draft someone like a CJ Stroud.
That's what you're hoping for.
Maybe that would be ideal. There's no one in this draft that screams at you for a top pick.
Okay. And so, but let's discuss this. I know you said bring him in for a scrimmage, but that's the whole point of training camp. So what if he goes into training camp and it's spectacular, right? He starts the season off 3-0. What do you say after that?
Dude, that is money. That's money. You're right. You're definitely right.
Why not?
You
You
got to
know?
bring him in. You won't know what he does from watching him just throw a football. You
Yeah.
just don't. It's not fair to him. It's not fair to the teams that are looking at him. No one really knows. Everyone looks great when they're throwing a football. Hey, he was a pro. Of course, you're gonna throw it nice. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you're right. You need to bring him in on even like a practice squad deal or something. You're right. I
Something.
agree with you.
Something.
That is correct. I agree with you. And there's plenty of teams that could use it. You could do it in Detroit. You could do it in Seattle. You could. Heck, before the Deshaun Watson trade, I would say you could have tried it in Cleveland.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I agree with that's a great point, man.
And so basically, man, I think that it's not going to happen, but it's something I want to happen, that I want to happen. But like you said, and like we kind of discussed a little bit earlier, if they can get a guy like Desmond Ritter,
Mm-hmm.
late first round or even second round, I think
Yeah.
he will become that Russell Wilson and just start his rookie year. Because he's a pretty damn good quarterback, I believe. So
Yeah. I think the Seahawks would give, if they drafted anyone, they would give them a fair chance to win that job. I
yeah,
don't think that they would purposely say, we're drafting you and we know we're holding you back like the Niners did with Trey Lance.
mm-hmm.
I think that just like when Russell was drafted, we said, hey, we got Matt Flynn for way too much money. He looked good, but we said, hey, best man's going to start. And I do believe that that is their philosophy, and they'll give whoever they draft, if they do, a true chance.
Yeah. And so we're almost done with this interview, but I got two more questions.
All right.
Let's start off with this question. Do you think DK Metcalf deserves to get paid? And how much money do you think he should get paid per year?
Does he deserve to get paid? Absolutely. He is one of the best young receivers in the league. Keyword there, young.
Yeah.
He's someone that you can build on. And we don't have many building blocks left, especially on offense. Tyler Lockett is still there. He's great, but he's getting older. You need to keep refreshing at certain positions in order to keep them strong, and we did that by drafting DK. And I don't see the value in losing him. I would 100% resign him. The problem is how much, like you said, this offseason, oh, God. Ooh, the amount of money going to wide receivers is painful to look at. They are getting paid almost like quarterbacks. And they only catch the ball, a number of times a game. They can only make a certain amount of plays if the quarterback even throws them the ball.
Yeah.
And I believe the Seahawks have been forced into a hard spot with this. With Christian Kirk was the first domino to fall. And then after that, you get players getting flipped around. Devontae Adams gets $28 million a year. Boom. And then Tyreek Hill in a absolute bomb dropped on us. Gets $30 million a year, dude.
That's insane.
Oh my God. I think both guys I would love to have on my team, but for that amount of money, like I said, I wouldn't re-sign Russell for too much, just like with the Rodgers deal.
Mm-hmm.
$30 million, I don't think he's worth as much as Cheetah. Cheetah is established. Cheetah is an all-pro. He's been a model of consistency with Patrick Mahomes. Again, with Patrick Mahomes. So we know what his physical skill set is. And you saw what, Tua and the other Miami quarterbacks did with Jalen Waddle, who has a similar skill set to Tyreek. So imagine having two of them on the field.
Insane.
Now back to DK, price-wise. 30 mil, never going to happen. We're not going to pay him more than the highest paid receiver in the NFL.
Mm-mm.
And then you go below that, and you see Devontae Adams. And he's getting 28. That's a little too much. Quite frankly, nope. I would say he might end up with a $24 million a year deal. And I still think that might be a little too much.
Yes,
I think he might be around 20, 22. You got to pay him like a premium guy because he is and will be. He'll continue to get better.
Mm-hmm.
That's all he's shown is just that pure freakish athletic talent. And you get the ball near him. Like sometimes later in the season, we started throwing the ball just his direction. He was making plays. So you don't just get rid of that. You need someone for your next quarterback to throw to. Lockett will only be around for so long. Players decline. And then they picked up Noah Fant to help with that too. But I think he's going to get a $24 million deal, 24.5 maybe.
Ooh, that's a lot of money, man.
And also, hey, you got to wait on Debo because Debo is going to get traded.
That's the domino. That's the domino effect.
That's the domino for that rookie class is going to be Debo.
Yes, it is.
Because when Debo probably gets traded to the Jets, they are going to extend him immediately. Mm-hmm. And then you take that, you look at that, and then whatever he gets signed for, you're probably going to go just a bit lower.
Yeah. I definitely think that 22 at the max, 23, 24 is about it. I can't, not even 24. I'm sorry, about 23, 22. I mean, I know the salary cap is going up in the NFL, but man, that is a lot, dude. And you're not that well off established to command that type of money. This is your second contract, so I mean, I think Devontae and Tyreek are on their third contract, and I know Stephon.
I think you might be right. Yeah.
I know Stephon Diggs got 27. So they're
Yeah.
not in that bracket, man. I just don't think that.
No. You need to build a
And
bigger body of work outside of your rookie deal.
exactly. So I mean, I don't blame them for commanding that money, but let's be realistic and
Hmm.
let's try to just get it to that $22 million
Yeah.
a year. I definitely think 20 might be a little short, when it comes to DK,
If he,
Debo, and AJ Brown
yeah,
too.
yeah. I mean, yeah, 20, that is a dream scenario. If he
Yes.
truly loved just just playing football, truly loved the city of Seattle and its fans, loved Pete Carroll and the other guys he's around him, he said, screw it, give me 20 million, that would be a massive win for the Hawks because right now teams are digging themselves holes.
Yeah.
And the cap only goes up so much. It can only help you so much. So they're in trouble, and it's gonna be. I can't wait. There's gonna be like a reckoning coming. Not next year, not the year after that. I feel like 3, maybe 4 years down the road. It's gonna get bad when Josh Allen has to resign. Did he sign another deal, or did
Yeah.
he
Yep.
have to
He
get
already
another
signed
one?
it. Hmm.
Yeah, he already signed. But Herbert, sure, let's throw Herbert out there. Herbert's gonna need to resign, and that boy is gonna be
Yes.
getting paid, and he
Lamar
deserves it
Jackson.
too. Lamar
Lamar
Jackson,
Jackson.
too. It's only gonna get worse from here on out.
Hmm. Yeah, I think those two guys that we just discussed, they deserve whatever money they're asking for.
Yeah.
Justin Herbert is top quarterback in the AFC, one of the top in the
One of the
NFL.
top.
Lamar Jackson, former MVP, top
Same
quarterback in the
thing.
NFL. He's so dynamic. He is 100% of their offense, run and pass. So
Yep.
he deserves whatever he wants.
Oh
And
yeah. He's just got to stay healthy and not poop himself during games.
yeah, in crunch time too. In crunch time,
Yeah.
that's hilarious.
I'll tell you. After he dropped that thing, he got 20 pounds lighter, came back out, and won that game.
Yep, I think it was on a fourth down too. Threw a touchdown
It
to
was
Marquise
amazing.
Brown.
Pay
Fucking
that
amazing.
man. Pay that man.
Yes, don't even discuss about it. What do you want?
Nah.
Let's just write a blank check. Just get
Yep.
whatever you want.
But it's a slippery slope though. Slippery slope.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because he's so dynamic in the run game. It's kind of hard
Mm-hmm.
to pay a quarterback when possibly he could get hurt by running the football. So it
Mm-hmm.
goes hand in hand, but
And
give him whatever
if
he
you
wants, in my
reset,
opinion.
yeah. If you reset, you have to change that offense.
You do.
If you let him go, if you let him walk,
Mm-hmm.
the offense has to be reworked completely.
But
That's tough.
they do have I think it's Tyler Huntley.
Yeah, he played
Oh
well
my!
last season.
Oh, he looks good, dog. He looks good.
he's not Lamar. I don't know. Maybe give him some more snaps, like we were saying with a guy like Trey Lance. Give him more snaps. Maybe he'll
Yeah,
get better. Whatever. Yeah.
but
Yeah.
let's get into my last question. Right, I want to get your predictions on the Seahawks season, their record, and possibly do you think they're trying to tank in a way to get a quarterback next year?
So I don't think they're going to try to tank. I think they're just going to tank. They're not going to end up, I don't think they'll end up with the number 1 overall pick, but they'll definitely be in the top 10 for sure. Maybe that number 5 spot.
Yeah,
I have them
definitely.
going, in my opinion, after looking at their schedule, 5-12.
5 and
5 and 12.
12.
5 and
Wow.
12. Not a lot to be optimistic about. It's so much uncertainty. Things can change after the draft, but how much of an impact do you expect these rookies to make to the point where you can say, you know what, we're going to make the playoffs, or we're going to be middle of the road like we were last year.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, as the roster sits, I see them winning 5 games. In terms of the NFC West, they will get swept by the Rams. They will
Yeah.
get swept by the Cardinals.
Oh, the Cardinals too.
Oh, they'll get swept by the Cardinals. We always play bad against them, and we're not any better. So why would we win a game? And then we do tend to have good luck. We do tend to show up against our rival, the 49ers.
I know.
But
I
I think we take 1 out of 2 from them, or we
Mm-hmm.
get swept. I mean, there's no way we're sweeping them again this year. It's going to be a big year for them, and they have a lot to be excited about. And then you look at the out-of-conference games. Who do we play? The AFC West. The
Oh,
best division in football.
football on paper.
We're not on paper, sure, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, we're not beating any of those teams.
Not at all.
We're not. They did all the right moves. They saw what the Rams did in trading away draft picks to acquire established talent, which is something I've harped on before, and it worked. And they said, you know what? We're going to go that route too. Put balls to the wall, put your money where your mouth is, go out and get these guys and win football games, get your fans excited, have a good time, be competitive. So we're not gonna beat them, and then I think that we'll beat the two New Yorks. We face the Giants and the Jets. I don't think we're that bad yet. And the Lions, although the Lions kind of gave us a run for our money, and Amon-Ra St. Brown absolutely balled out. So I think we win that one. Maybe it's close.
Be honest, you guys might lose to the Jets. I think the Jets are coming, man. They're coming.
Who knows? Again, everything's so uncertain, but I think they're going to tank. I don't think they're going to try to tank. They just will do it because that's what they have to work with.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
It's a personnel problem, and a coaching problem, and a GM problem, and things aren't looking sunny in Seattle. Lots of rain and storm clouds ahead.
So what's your one thing you want the Seahawks to let go of? And who do you want them to let go of? I know the answer to this, but who do you want the Seahawks to let go?
You're gonna make me choose one?
Yes.
You're gonna make me choose one. All right,
just
you're gonna
one.
make me choose one. All right. I would say John Schneider.
Oh, Schneider?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I thought you were gonna say Pete, man. I thought you was gonna say Pete.
No. I think Pete's track record, even with what he's gotten, he gets to make a lot of personnel decisions, but John Schneider is in those rooms. He's getting what he wants too. I mean, Pete, at the end of the day, he's got to coach the guys. He's a guy that people want to play for, and that's the trait that I wouldn't want to just give up. And he took us to the Super Bowl, yeah, but it's the guy who's bringing these players, making the decisions on who to pay, how much to pay, who he's in there telling them who to draft. I think it's time to get a fresh start at a guy, fresh eyes on players, fresh eyes on prospects, free agents, trades. Not just Pete, but maybe someone else with a different viewpoint. They have the same viewpoint pretty much. I think there needs to be a little bit of conflict, a little bit of healthy conflict.
I guess healthy. Yeah, healthy.
You can't just have two guys that just agree with each other the entire time, especially when they've been historically wrong lately. The Seahawks have nothing to show for their recent drafts, their recent free agents, their recent trades, obviously. We need some fresh eyes. I would say get rid of John, keep Pete.
I think, to be honest, I know when they first drafted Penny, right? I loved it. I thought he was a great running back. Do you still hate that pick?
I feel the same way you do. I loved watching him in college. I thought he had a lot of talent. I only hated the pick because we had a guy named Chris Carson who's been 1,000-yard rusher for a couple seasons, and it's a position where it's not valued. These guys get hurt, and
he's hurt.
Yeah, exactly. But so is Penny. So
I think the torn ACL, right, a year ago.
Yeah, it's just about picking players of need and not overdrafting. Overdrafting is probably one of their biggest flaws as an organization. They overdraft players. They draft them before they should be taken. Like our defensive end that we drafted from TCU. Oh God, I'm spacing on his name.
I feel like I think I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. Well, you see. Name? Yeah, I can't think. To it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but LJ Collier. There we go. We took LJ Collier in the first round.
I was thinking of somebody else.
We were again trying to build our defense, kind of similar to the Legion of Boom days. We took a big, unathletic, powerful defensive end, but the edge rush is a game of speed nowadays.
Bro.
And and a lot of pundits had a guy like LJ going in the second round in a place that he wouldn't need to have that pressure on his back, and not have to go into that role immediately. And we kind of expected him to, and he had injury problems, but it's just overdrafting. You know what? I would like them to just go on to Bleacher Report and say, what do they say? Go look at McShay's mock draft.
Oh, shit.
Mel Kiper.
Mel Kiper. Who the hell is Mel Kiper anyway?
That owl-looking dude.
Oh, shit, man.
Yeah, but I think they need to just quit overthinking it. They overthink it, and they try to think they're smarter than everybody. And recent trends have said they're not.
Yeah. See, there we go, man. Hey, and we're gonna wrap it off that, man. I love your opinions on the Seahawks. I always do. And that's it. Thank you guys for tuning in with the Viewers and Voices podcast. I'm your host, DeJuan Thompson. Thank you.